Hello everyone, this is Stephen Balch, your instructor for Business Communications at Ozarka College. Today what I'm going to do is give you a little bit of feedback on the chapters 1 and 2 activities that I finished grading this morning. And then I'm going to tell you what we've got coming up due for our next set of chapter activities. And then I'm also going to kind of get you started on looking through the Project 1 guidelines. Okay? All right, so the first thing is the introduce yourself discussion that we had last week. I thought that went very well. It was really good to get to know everyone and learn a little bit about each of you. And so I thought that went very well. Thank you for your participation on that. The chapters 1 and 2 activities, like I said just a minute ago, I did grade those or finish grading those this morning. If you haven't already looked at your grades for those activities and read the grading comments, go ahead and do that as soon as you can. And let me know if you have any questions at all. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. Most of you did well on the assignment, and I really appreciate those of you that are putting the time and effort in to do the work for this class, so keep up the good work on that. The chapters 1 and 2 discussion also went very well. I really enjoyed reading everyone's comments. If you remember, the chapters 1 and 2 discussion dealt with the two major types of leadership styles, Theory X and Theory Y leadership styles. And specifically, it discussed Meg Whitman's, who used to run eBay, her leadership style and how effective it was. Like I said, I really enjoyed reading everyone's comments on that discussion, and hopefully you learned some things from that and enjoyed it as well. We'll have some really good discussions as we go through the semester. And like I said, I think you'll find those enjoyable. Just let me know if you have any questions about that. All right. Then on the chapters 1 and 2 objective test, I thought it looked like most of you did well on that. Just as a reminder, I know I've already reminded you of this. It's already on the syllabus. But just as a reminder, you can take those chapter tests as many times as you want to up until the due date. So if you take it once and you don't like your grade, go ahead and take it again. You can take it as many times as you want to up until the due date, and your highest grade is automatically recorded. So I just thought I'd remind everyone of that. All right, so that brings us to where we're at now in this semester. So right now we're on kind of the kind of towards the end of week 2 of the semester. And of course, we just had our chapters 1 and 2 work due last night. And you'll notice after the Labor Day weekend, the week after the Labor Day weekend, during week 3, we don't have anything due, but you should still be working on the next set of activities for chapters 3 and 4, which are due the first day of week 4. So don't let it sneak up on you. Don't wait until week 4, that Sunday when the work is due on September 7th. Don't wait until that day to get started. Even though there's nothing due next week, you should still be working on the activities that are due for chapters 3 and 4, which again are due by Sunday, September 7th. Okay? All right. Chapter 3, by the way, deals with planning and decision making for business communications. So in the chapter, you're going to learn about the appropriate channel and medium to use for business communication, how to design the message to fit the audience, how to organize your messages, and how to use deductive versus inductive message sequencing. There are certain cases where you want to use the deductive approach, and then others where you want to use the inductive approach. And it will explain all that in the resources that are assigned for that particular chapter. All right, and then in chapter 4, we're going to learn about the preparation of written messages. And of course, in business, a lot of our messages that we send out to various people that we do business with, customers, suppliers, and so forth, the community, just the public in general. A lot of those communications are written in some form. And so you're going to learn about the steps involved in the process of written communication, how to structure sentences and paragraphs correctly. You'll learn about something that's very important in business communication, when to use active voice and when to use passive voice and what the differences are between those. And then finally in Chapter 4, you're going to learn about how to modify and format a business document to improve readability of the document. Okay? So that's Chapters 3 and 4. So, take your time as you're working through those activities for Chapters 3 and 4. Of course, you've got the assignment, test, and discussion. And so take your time. Again, don't let it sneak up on you. Don't wait until week 4 to get started. Go ahead and be working this week and next week on that. Let me know if you have any questions as you're working. All right, the other thing I need to remind you of, and something that's kind of closely tied to Chapters 3 and 4, is the Project 1, which is under Week 8. So you've still got some time to work on it, but you probably need to go ahead and get started on it, at least start looking at it, looking at the resources for it. It's under Week 8, and what I want you to do is, like I said, look at the instructions for the project. Basically, this project is going to involve you creating a persuasive letter, which that's a very common type of letter in business today. You're trying to persuade someone, either a customer, a supplier, somebody. You're trying to persuade them to do something or to act in a certain way. And so persuasion is a very important thing to understand when we are creating business documents, written business documents. So in this project, basically I provided, under additional resources, I provided a letter template for you. I would like you to use that template to create the letter. That way all the formatting's kind of already done for you, and all you're doing is plugging in the information. And then I've also provided a tips and examples resource there, and that basically shows you kind of some of the things you'll need to consider as you're working through the project. Okay, and then I've also provided some videos that I've linked here that explain how to write a persuasive letter and how to write the correct message to make the communication persuasive. All right, so at least start looking at that. Again, it's not due for a while, but it's going to take some time to complete, and so you at least need to start thinking about it, how you're going to approach that project. As you're working through the instructions and you're looking at the materials, if you have questions, just let me know, and I'll be glad to answer any questions that you have. And that's really all I have for you for today. So enjoy the rest of this week and your Labor Day weekend. I know I'm going to try to watch some college football and try to do a little bit of work in my yard. It's supposed to be really nice weather. So hopefully everybody will have a good time this weekend and be ready to get back at it next week. So I will talk to you then. Thank you.